Hello and welcome back to the Adrian Project. Hello! Many thanks for choosing to click on my thumbnail and to watch my content, very much appreciated as always. So, as you can see from the title card, this is my latest book haul video. But before we have a look at the books that were all part of the haul, I'll just show you a quick look at my latest acquisition. It's a new bookcase, yeah. We've got that many books, we've already filled one, so I've had to go out and buy another one. And hopefully it's not going to be too long before we fill this one. Okay, so enough of the waffle, let's get on with the video. Okay, so as I said in a previous video, I think it was the channel update one that I did in December. I didn't go overboard buying books in December, mainly due to the fact that we're going to be buying Christmas presents, but that doesn't mean that we didn't have any. I only went out and bought one. We have had a couple more for Christmas, so I thought I'd do the December one, Christmas one, in with the January, so less of the waffle. So the one I did buy, I got Shelters of Stone, which is book 5 in the Earth's Children series by Jean M. Orwell. Currently nearly finished the first book, Clan of the Cave Bear. It's absolutely awesome. I think I will be doing a plain talking review. I couldn't think what my own videos were called then, of the book when I finished it, but it is absolutely awesome. So book number 5, that means I've now got all 6, so I've got the full collection. So there we go, that's my first one up and we're off and running. So what did Santa bring us? Okay, so first one up is the one that I got for Claire. She's a big horror fan and I managed to get her Susan Hill's The Woman in Black. You must have seen the film with Daniel Radcliffe, or you probably know the made-for-TV film that was out in the late 80s, early 90s, I think it was. Classic story. Arthur Kipps, junior solicitor, is summoned to attend the funeral of Mrs. Alice Drablow, the sole inhabitant of Eel Marsh House. He has to go over, sort out all affairs, and soon begins to realise that the house he thought he was alone in may have an unwanted guest. So awesome book that, and awesome film. It's my all-time favourite horror film, is the Daniel Radcliffe version of The Woman in Black. Love it. Okay, so Claire got me a couple of books for Christmas. First one up is Time Machine and Other Works, H.G. Wells. Again, you should know the story of the Time Machine. There's been 2 or 3 different versions of the book made into films. The other books that are in here are When the Sleeper Awakes and The Chronic Argonauts. I've not heard of those before, but I'll be looking forward to reading those. Fantastic. And the second one that she got me for Christmas is Victor Hugo's The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You probably know the story from the Disney cartoon, but yes, it was actually a book before it was a Disney cartoon, so there you go. It's set in 1482. It's a story of deformed Quasimodo who lives in Notre Dame, spies a gypsy girl, Esmeralda, and falls in love with her. And like I say, you should know the story, but this is the novel. Looking forward to reading that one. Sorry for knocking the table, just went all wibbly wobbly again for a minute. Okay, Next one up that I had for Christmas came from my father-in-law, and it's Rob Halford's Confess. Really, really glad I got a copy of this. As you know from a previous video, I've already read and reviewed K.K. Downing's book about his time in Judas Priest, so I'm going to get Rob Halford's side of the story. This will be dealing with times growing up, being in bands before Priest, his time with Priest, and then when he left to do his own solo stuff with Fight, and then of course he rejoined. It's the autobiography of the metal god himself. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so that's all the December and the Christmas ones out of the way. Let's get in to the January haul. And like I said, me and Claire love books, and I'm really starting to get into the classics that I feel that I should have read but never did. So first one up, we've got the box set, the complete novels of Jane Austen. Now, I can see you're all looking there going, oh God, what you got them for? Oh, crap. So you've read them then, do you? Have you? You know the crap because you've sat and read them all, yeah? No, you haven't, have you? Let's admit it. You're just going by what you think these books are about. Yes, they are romance novels, but if you read between the lines and look behind the story, very much along the lines of Charles Dickens. There are some scathing reviews of life in 19th century Britain and how it was, how Charles Dickens used to do scathing views of life and how orphans were treated and how the lower classes were treated. Well, these books are the same, really. It's, you know, read between the lines. Don't go by what you think it is. You might have seen the films. Sorry. You might have seen the films and you thought, oh God, these are rubbish, but trust me, they're not. Okay, so I've just had a job getting them out. They are really tightly packed into this box. So what do you get in this box set? Sorry. So get the first one up. We've got Northanger Abbey. I'm not going to read you through all synopses on the back, else we'll be here forever. So you get Northanger Abbey, you get Persuasion, little book, Sense and Sensibility, which you've probably seen the film on the telly loads of times. Pride and Prejudice. It's another classic film that's been made and remade loads and loads of times. Mansfield Park. I think there was a film made of Mansfield Park, but I've not seen it. Emma, which was made into a film because it was on at Christmas and I sat and watched it and I thought it was fantastic. Really, it's a funny film actually. You know, you wouldn't think it is, but there are some really laugh out loud parts in it. Emma, fantastic. And then the last book we have got Lady Susan and Other Works. Now the other works in here are the Watsons, Sandition, Catherine, Love and Friendship, and Other Works. So there we go. So that's the complete Jane Austen. Now I managed to pick this up off for Amazon, 20 quid for all those books in a nice picture box as well. So I didn't show you that, did I? So if you can see, they came in this display case. Absolutely awesome. It's a shame to put them in the bookcase actually, so because you'll not see this when all the books are crammed in, but there we go. So lots of reading there. I know Claire's looking forward to getting a hold of them and starting to have a look through. So I've got that one. The other box set I got is the complete illustrated Sherlock Holmes, world's greatest detective, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's books of the man himself. So again, they're really squished into the box, and again got fantastic illustration on the side, and of course famous 221B Baker Street. Now if you're new to Sherlock Holmes and you think you're going to go down London and find 221B Baker Street, you'll be in for a bit of a shock because it doesn't exist. I think, not sure, it goes up to, I think, is it 118, and then there's no more houses after that. It's 118. Go on to Jules Guides London. I love his videos. Absolute big shout out for Jules Guides in London. Watch his videos, absolutely fantastic. If you wanted to learn about history of our capital city, top bloke, and they're really entertaining videos that he does as well. I'm sure he does one about Baker Street and all that. So I can't remember which one it is, but just go and watch him anyway. They are fantastic videos what he does. So okay, what we've got in here. First off, we've got Studying Scarlet and the Sign of Four, which Studying Scarlet was the very first time Conan Doyle wrote about Sherlock Holmes. Again, I'm not going to read through the synopsis on the back because we'll be here all day. We've got The Return of Sherlock Holmes. Next one up, Hound of the Baskervilles. If you don't know the Hound of the Baskervilles, it's Sherlock Holmes' most famous story, then you must be, excuse me, living under a rock somewhere. With the Hound of the Baskervilles, you also get Valley of Fear. This one is The Best of Sherlock Holmes, which is a collection of short stories that involved Sherlock Holmes in them. Another one, The Adventures and Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. This again is another collection of stories where the great detective appeared. And then we've got The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes, which I think may be the final 12 stories, excuse me, that Conan Doyle wrote about with Sherlock Holmes in. So there we go, that's that nice collection. Again, all these books, a nice display case, which, like I say, is going to be, you know, you're not going to see them when I put them on the bookcase. It's a bit of a shame, but there we go. Again, 20 quid off Amazon. So loads and loads of reading to be done there. Okay, so just a few more now to get through. So first one on top of the pile, I got Billy Connolly, Tall Tales and Wee Stories. I think this is a collection, some of the highlights and best bits of books that he's written in the past. I didn't realise this was out until I went on Amazon a couple of days ago and saw it. Saw it was only £3. £3 for a brand new book. I thought, yep, I'm having that. So we've got loads and loads of anecdotes and stories, and these little cartoon drawings which I think Billy Connolly drew himself. So we've got that kind of drawing as well. So I say, love Billy Connolly. I've got the first biography that Pamela Stevenson, his wife, wrote. That's a fantastic book if you can get out of it. Really must get out of the ones after that as well, but I've only got the first one. Fantastic book. So looking forward to that. Love Billy Connolly. Okay, right. Next up, we have Michael Crichton, Dragon Teeth. Now, I didn't realise this book had been out. Michael Crichton died in, I think it was 2008. Yes, he died in 2008, and this book was released in 2018. So whether it's a book that he finished and never published, or has been a ghostwriter, I'm not too sure. But what this story is, it's set in the time of the Wild Wild West, when all the great fossil hunts were happening. And this is a story of one paleontologist he finds the said dragon teeth. That's what the local Native Americans were calling them, and he has to try and get them back to the museum through, you know, the backdrop of you know, the Indian Wars as they were called then, rival paleontologists, outlaws, you name it, it's all in that book. So looking forward to reading that. Okay, so the next two books up, two more Michael Crichton. Absolutely love dinosaurs, as you know, if you've followed my channel for a long time. So first one up, Jurassic Park. Now, I did have this in a hardback edition, and it's one of those that I think I lent out and never got back. So I thought, right, I'm going to treat myself and get the paperback version. Now, those of you that have seen the film and read the book will know there's a lot of differences between the book and the film. I'm not going to do any spoiler. I'm not going to do any spoilers. So if you've not read the book, I don't want to spoil it for you, but there are some differences between this and the film. In fact, there's a couple of major differences. When you've read the book, you'll know what I mean. So I'm glad I got a copy of that. Next one up, Michael Crichton, The Lost World. Now, I haven't had this book, seen the film, obviously, loads and loads of times. Absolutely love the Jurassic Park films. So I'm assuming that because that is different to the film, I'm assuming that this one will be different to the film as well. Mainly because there's something that happens in this, which means a character or characters won't be appearing in this, unlike they do in the first two films. So there we go. So when I've read them both, and I'll do my usual plain talking reviews, I'll fill you in on that, but I will give you a little spoiler alert there as well. Okay, so, and the last one up, a little story behind this one. Those of you that are my age, I'm 56. Yeah, 56. I know I don't look a day over 58. But you may remember that when you were in junior school, they used to do like a little book club. You used to get this A4 sheet. You used to have loads and loads of books on it, and you could take it home, and your parents would let you buy one. And when you bought it back 2 weeks later, they bring the book for you. And this is how I how I got this book. And up until I read The Lord of the Rings when I was a teenager, this was my all-time favourite book. And I have to admit, I saw this on Amazon, I thought, I'm having it. And when it came, a little bit teary I did, because it brought the memories flooding back, because the picture on the front's the same, the pictures in the book are the same. Absolutely. And when I've finished reading Clan of the Cave Bear, just to give myself a bit of something different to read, this is going to be the next book I read. Just like I said, when I first got this book, when I was around 7-8 years old, and I read it, it's my favourite book until Lord of the Rings, and it is Clive King's Stig of the Dump. Absolutely love this book. Owned it like I say, when I was 7 or 8. Must have read it 4 or 5 times. Absolutely loved it. The same picture on the front. It's the same illustration. Sorry about moving the camera there. Illustrations in the back, in the book as well. Absolutely love this story. If you don't know the story, it's about a young lad called Barney, goes on holiday to stay with his grandma. At the bottom of the garden there's a quarry. He's been told time and time again to stay away from from there because it's dangerous, but he doesn't listen, ends up falling into the quarry, and that's where he meets Stig, who is a little lad from caveman times. So there we go. What can I say? Memories come flooding back. How many of you out there read this book? I think they did a serialization of it on Jackanory, if you remember that, and they definitely did a children's TV series of it. We found, me and Claire looked on YouTube, and we found somebody who's put the episodes up on there, so I think we'll be watching that again. Claire remembers Stick of the Dump from the television series, and the music for her, all the memories flooding back for her as well. So there we go, Clive King's Stick of the Dump, which is, like I say, or was my favourite book until the time I read Lord of the Rings. So that brings us to the end of my book haul for January. So there we go. It'd be nice to know if you've read any of these books yourselves, what you thought of the books, and also, is there a book out of all that lot that you'd like me to read and review first? Kind of get sort of like a book club vibe going. So there you go. Just leave all your comments in the usual comments place below. And that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed that one. Please remember, if you haven't done so already, to subscribe to my channel. It'd be very much appreciated. And also, don't forget to ring that little notification bell. Also, if you've got Facebook, you can follow me at Adrian Bower Project. And if you've got a Twitter account, you can follow me at Project Bower. So, with all that in mind, I'd like to thank you all again for watching, and here's to seeing you all again on the next episode of the Adrian Bower Project.